Hiya. I know I've been gone for a while, and I think it's time I talk about it. I don't really know how to come back without addressing everything first. So that's what this is. I'm well aware a lot of y'all found me through Bugga/Zombie Paws, and I know before I left there was a lot going on. So I'm going to try to clear everything up to the best of my ability. Back when I was active in the community, there was a lot of drama. Some really serious, some were honestly an overreaction. But there was this situation surrounding Tweak, who I cared for deeply at the time. Krova and many others started making a lot of claims and theories about the whole situation. What I tried to say at the time was that I thought it was disrespectful to speculate like that, especially when people were still grieving. Speaking personally, whether anything was true or not, putting that out there publicly just felt wrong and like it would only make things worse, you know? And even though I was attacked for saying that, honestly, I was partially right. Things just got so much worse. Just to be clear, I didn't have any inside knowledge, and I wasn't involved in anything like people were saying. And as far as I'm aware, no one else was either. No one knew anything about what happened, so all of our feelings were very real. I also wasn't close to the person who was making those accusations about me and my friends. That wasn't someone I personally trusted or was friends with, and many people I knew would agree. But once all of those rumors started spreading, it didn't really matter what I said. People had already made up their minds. And as someone already struggling with anxiety, depression, and an eating disorder, being online in that kind of environment just wasn't healthy for me anymore. So I left, and I'm gonna be real. I don't want to go deeper into that situation. Out of respect for everyone involved and for myself, I don't want to turn something that serious into content. Did I believe what happened was faked or not? I don't know. I was never able to look into it for the sake of my mental health. Whether it was actually real or not, it was real to me, and I genuinely grieve for her. So in my head, I've made peace with her being dead, and I refuse to try to open that can of worms again. But also, I don't think many of y'all realize the people who were close to Tweak All were 12 to 13 years old. These were children forced to grieve over their friend, and then a year later being accused of faking all of it. But moving on, I don't want my channel to just be tied to that situation, or to one specific person. I think one of the biggest things for me is that I don't want to just be known as Bugga's ex, or someone people only recognize because of who I used to be around. That's not me. I get that that's how a lot of people found me, and I'm not ignoring that, but I want the chance to actually be seen as my own person, not just something connected to someone else. Besides, I haven't spoken to Percy/Bugga in over 3 years. He had broken up with me after 3 months of dating, and while I tried to stay friends, eventually he deleted his socials, disappearing off the face of the internet. So to be honest, I don't know any more about him now than any of you do, but I truly hope he is doing well. I'll forever have a little spot in my heart for the people I knew back then, and wherever they are, I hope they have all grown, and are now thriving. With that being said, I want to mention some things about myself. I think many of y'all know, but just in case you don't, my name is Vincent, but I mainly go by Vin, Vinny, or even Vince. I prefer using he/they pronouns, but depending on the day, others are fine with me. I also identify as boyflux. That's just the label I found that seems to describe me best. On a gender scale, I fluctuate between these spaces, but more often between a gender and male. All of that being said, taking time away made me realize how much I was letting people walk all over me and define who I am, and I don't want that to happen again. I want people to be here for me, for my OCs, my stories, and the stuff I create. Not just because of who I dated/had connections with. I've changed a lot. I've become more mature, kinder, and more focused on my OCs and the stories I want to tell. And honestly, I don't want to keep being tied to past drama. I just want to clear the air and move forward. So moving forward, I'm focusing on what I actually enjoy, which is making content around my OCs and their stories. I might also branch out into other things someday, but for now it's mainly OC-driven content. However, don't expect a fixed schedule or daily post because, as I've said years before, I do struggle with motivation, and I'm now a junior, soon to be senior, in high school, so I have more important things I need to focus on. So yeah, if you've stuck around and you're still here even after everything, I really do appreciate that. I know there's a few things I've probably forgotten or that y'all are curious about, so feel free to leave questions in the comments. I will make one last video answering things I didn't discuss, or if it's questions about me directly that you'll like to know, you'll do a personal Q&A if there's enough of them. In conclusion, this is kind of just a reset. I'm not trying to be tied to the past anymore. I just want to move forward as myself. So yeah, I'm back.